Morning, everyone. Salon B, and I'm here to talk about call bearers. Um, I don't know if anybody heard of a call bearer. A call bearer is a baby that's born with a mask on that is created by the amniotic fluid in the birth canal. These births were predicted. Um, People who were born with these things on as a baby, they either are empaths or they could be kings or queens. And 1 out of 80,000 babies are born this way. So it's very rare. And they said people that are born with calls on their face, they are psychic and they can be empathic too. Now, if you are the type of person that doesn't believe in stuff like this, please click off, because I don't have time to be entertaining people who don't know too much about the spiritual world. Now, I was not born with a call birth, but my mother was. My mother was born with a caul over her face. It's called a veil. They call it a caul bearer, but another word for it is baby born with a veil on his face. You can Google baby with a veil. And a baby that's born with a veil is basically a mask on their face created by the amniotic fluid. And it's very difficult to remove this from a child's face when they're born like this. Doctors don't deal with it often. It's rare now. In the 40s and the 30s, it was seen as luck. Like I said, the birth can be predicted. The person is either an empath or can be a king or a healer. People would pay to get a call from a baby. Like sailors would use it to stop from drowning. They said that it was good luck. It stopped you from death or horrible deaths and stuff like that. Some people look at it as superstitious, but I have a real true story to tell. Okay, my mother, when I was growing up, she would always say, I was born with the veil on my face. I was born with the veil. But she never used to explain it. And I'd be like, what is a veil? And that's all I knew. What is a veil? What is a veil? So one day I did some research online to find out, being born with the veil on, what does that mean? And it's just what I explained: a baby born with a mask on their face created by the amniotic sac. I don't know if it's the same as the in ancient Egypt when they're talking about Isis, the veil of Isis. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I do know that Isis takes part in creating a child in the womb. That's the spirit of Isis. But anyhow, it is supposed to, when you're born like this, it is supposed to give you clairvoyance. And clairvoyance is basically psychic ability. You're able to get things before the masses get them. You're able to get messages from the angels or the stars before anybody else gets them. You're able to naturally heal people, and you know just what to do to heal them. Now, people are born with spiritual talents, and they never know until they either read their chart or they actually monitor themselves when they are sleeping, and they write down their dreams and they interpreted those dreams, or get someone who is a guru to interpret the dreams. Is this true? Being a call bearer, can you be a healer? Can you be psychic? Well, let's talk about my mom. My mom grew up in Detroit. She came down with her parents, her father and her grandfather, here in Virginia in the 30s. So she wasn't even born yet when they moved here. My mother was born, and her mom passed away before she was born. So she didn't really get a chance to know her mother. My mother was a longtime member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If people know about the Moorish Science Temple of America, they are Moors. They practice Islam. They're known for their spirituality and their study of ancient Egypt. They're known for that. So my mother was a member of the Sisters Auxiliary of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and they deal with healing the old people, going around helping them, doing house visits. They were midwives. They would help women have babies and stuff like that. They would also wash the dead when they passed away. So my mother was into heavy spiritual work. My mother was also a fraternal twin. Now, my uncle passed away in 1986, and I will never forget this. He drowned in a pond in Newport News. He was fishing, and nobody knew where he was. He was missing for a couple of days. And my mom got up one morning, and she said that it came to her in a dream that my uncle was face down in a pond. And I thought the dream was really, really crazy. And I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? But she would always discuss her dreams. So, and my mom was very, very clairvoyant, which means weird things would happen and she would get the message before anybody else would get it. And she was able to convey the message to everybody around us. So was she psychic? Yes, she was. And people don't believe in it, but I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. Okay, so my uncle, the next week, was found exactly where my mother said he was. He was face down. They had found him in the water, and he was dead. And I don't know if he had a heart attack and he fell in the water. We don't know. All I know is my mother knew exactly where he was and what had happened to him before anybody else knew. And then when the police came to my aunt's house to tell her where they found him and how he passed away, it was exactly what my mother said. So this is letting y'all know that call bearers are the truth. People that are born this way, they're empathic, they're healers. And my mother, that's all she did her whole life was heal. She gave birth to children in the 40s. I mean, not in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s. She gave birth to children. She was a midwife. She would, when the elderly were sick, she would go in and she would take care of them. She would make sure they would have food, all of those things. She was a natural healer. And she was born with a veil over her face, and she was a pallbearer. So if you know anybody that's in your family that has a pallbearer birth, let me know. Like, are there people out there that still exist with this type of power? Let me know. It is very, very interesting. Like, my mother used to scare the shit out of me, and people were scared of my mother. Like, I don't even know why. Like, one of my friends, she's an older lady, and she grew up with my mother. And she said, "Girl, I'm terrified of your mother." I said, "Why are you terrified of her?" I said, She ain't gonna harm nobody. Why are y'all scared of her?" And they was like, "Because of the stuff that she can do. Like, she can, when she tell you something, you're wondering how she knows this stuff." And basically, being clairvoyant is being able to read things that you don't see with the eye. You're able to read things that you don't see with the untrained eye. And that's a skill that only certain people know what to do and know how to learn. Like, I became a CNA, and CNAs do the same things that they do. CNAs, they get paid less money, but they are supposed to diagnose a person without seeing evidence of a disease. Now, that is a real hard thing to do if you don't if you're not trained, or it's not natural to you. Then you won't be able to. There are people that know these things and these arts, and sometimes they know when a person is going to die before they die. So, this is something that people don't really talk about, but I'm talking about it on my page because my mother was a pallbearer. She was born with a mask on over her face, and she had those abilities that I cannot explain unless I was to sit down with a shaman or a guru. They would be able to tell me what her abilities was. And actually, I looked at my mom's birth chart, and she has a lot of clairvoyance in her chart. So you can see it. You can see it. So tell me, guys, what you think about pallbearers. Do you know anybody in your family, like your grandmother, your great-grandmother? Because this can be passed down in families when somebody's born like this. This can be passed down, like the clairvoyance and the natural healing can be passed down through the family. So tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, Salome B. Have a great day.